Alrighty folks, what's poppin' in? This is BabyNation.com. Welcome back to another video. And guys, today we are going to be picking NBA teams, or kind of predict NBA teams, or how I think their chances are of winning the NBA Finals this year. Kind of like what kind of level are these teams at? Are they a win now? Or are they not quite getting there? Well, so that's kind of like what we're doing in today's video here. And without further ado, guys, if you guys have already, make sure to like, subscribe, and make sure to join that Discord and follow me on Twitch. Both links are in the description. I really do appreciate. And this channel is free to subscribe, no sponsored by anything. So if you guys want to hit that like, subscribe button for me, make sure to please do so. And make sure you guys please do so before you watch this video. But without further ado, guys, I really do appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for being part of the show. And without further ado, guys, we have a lot of teams to rank here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get right into the video. Alrighty, everybody, so we're back here at the list, and we have some categories here, and we have some teams here. So without further ado here, I'm going to go through the tier list here real quick before I go ahead and get murdered. So without further ado here, so we have the top of the tier list, the win now teams, and we're going based off this year, by the way. We're going based off here for the rest of the season. So top of the tier list, we have the win now teams, the team that have like what they need to win the NBA Finals this year. Below that, we have the teams that I think they're so close, they're just missing just a little, they're just missing just a tiny bit. If they do that, I think they can make it there. Below that, we have the teams that I do think, I do think eventually it will take a couple years for them to get there. They're not at that stage yet, but I do see them continuing to building them, and they're kind of like on a process level right now. Below that, we have the tier list that I just don't think those teams are just not quite there, but I do think it's going to take them a while to get them there. And then below that, we have the teams that I just don't think they have no chances at all in winning the NBA Finals. And we're not now, or we're not going to be close. But without further ado, guys, let's go ahead and get started with the Atlanta Hawks. For Atlanta, I think it's gonna take a couple years for them to win it, because they do have Jalen Johnson. I do like him. He is definitely an all-star. He has been working his ass off. I do think they do need some more assets, but besides Jalen Johnson, because I do think he's like the only stud player out there in Atlanta. And I feel like if they can get some more assets, I do think in the offseason, I do think Atlanta might have a slim chance. And I do think they could build around Jalen Johnson, but I'm just not really for it right now, especially right now in today's NBA. Me thinking that Atlanta could be like a title contending NBA team, I just don't see that right now. I think that the moment's in their future. I think they're headed towards the right direction. I just don't think they're there just yet. Next up, we got the Celtics. Yeah, I do think the Celtics are a win now team, and I hate to say it, but I just think that's a reality. Well, not reality. I just think the reality of it. I don't care that Jason Tatum's going to be out for the rest of the year. If he's out for the rest of the year, then just so be it. But I mean, even if he does play, I do think that will definitely help him. But we've seen over the course of the Celtics team, like they know how to win ball games. Like this Celtics team, they're just not no joke at losing. They're here to win. And I just think that Celtics team has just been one of the most consistent teams ever. They have a deep bench. Peyton Pritchard's been awesome. Jalen Brown's been playing like an MVP level candidate. Like and they've been one of the awesome. They've still been one of the better players. And not been one of the players. They've been one of the better teams in the East. Even without Jason Tatum, I just think they're a win now team. Plus, they got the experience too. Next up, we got the Brooklyn Nets. No shot. But Brooklyn does not have any chances at all of winning the NBA Finals either this season or a couple seasons throughout. They just have no chance unless they make some couple moves going into the off season. But Michael Porter Jr. is your best player. I don't think that's going to cut it. Next up, we got the Charlotte Hornets, and the Hornets are interesting here because they have been playing better basketball. They have been showing me over the last couple of weeks that they actually could be like doing something here in the next couple of years here. I don't know where to put them at. Either quite not or a couple years, because I can actually see the Hornets actually doing something these next couple years. They just add a veteran. I'm gonna say a couple years for the Hornets, because I do think they might have a slim shot in the future. It's not gonna be right now, but I do think they will have a slim shot in the future, because they have a good young core. Like they have Melo Ball, they have Miles Bridges, they have Kunkunopo, they have who I think is one of the better 3-point shooters in the NBA. I think that the Hornets very much have a decent roster, and I think if you just take that roster and just add like a veteran, like a guy who's been in the league, it can be anybody, like a team, like a guy that has been in the league for a long long time, kind of like a Dennis Schroeder or like a Kevin Durant. You guys know what I mean? But like guys have been in the league for a long time. If they can get someone like that, I think Hornets might be up to something here. I think they could cook these next couple of years. But for right now, I'll put them a couple of years. They earn my respect. Moving on, we got the Chicago Bulls. I especially after trading Zach LaVine and DeMar DeRozan the last couple of years, and just kind of see how the roster is right now. Trading Vucevic, I just don't think the Bulls are any close to winning a championship over these next couple of years. Right now, either right now or the next couple of years, I just don't see it. I think Chicago's in a rough spot right now. I think they're kind of going for like a rebuild motion right now. But I just like the Chicago's just one of those teams that I just don't clearly know what direction they're really going to. Next, we got the Cleveland Cavaliers. I do think the Cavs are a win-now team. Now, I know the Cavs have not been the most inconsistent team. Matter of fact, I think that I actually called them out earlier in the year. I think they've been one of the more inconsistent teams in all of basketball. But what I do know from Cleveland is that they have a roster who's been in the playoffs many times. A roster who has dealt with all these losses in the playoffs many times ago. I know they're kind of young, but they do have the experience, and they have leadership too. Like they have now James Harden on the club. He's been in the playoffs many times. You have Donovan Mitchell, same story with him, and then now you have Jared Allen, Evan Mobley. Like they have a good cast to go out there and go in the Eastern Conference. I think the Eastern Conference was bread and stone for them to win it last year, and I just think they choked in the last year's second round to the Indiana Pacers. So, but yeah, I think the Cavs team. I think they have a really good roster, and I think they have a really chance to do something here in the East. I think they are. I think the Cleveland is really a win now team. Moving on, we got Dallas. I'm gonna go not quite. I'm not gonna put them in no shot because I just think that over the course of the next couple of years, you're gonna be building your team around Cooper Flag, and Cooper Flag, I'll give credit to him. He's probably been one of the better rookies I think I've seen in the NBA over the probably in my lifespan. But I do like how he's playing. I think the Mavericks should build a franchise around him, and I do like some pieces around him, like PJ Washington. I really like he's been playing Daniel Gafford. Like so, you just need to build around Cooper Flag. I think that's just all what it is about Dallas right now. Just build around Cooper Flag, continue to work with him, and if you see that core that works out for him, then you could make that playoff push, and then you can start looking into the playoffs, and then you could move forward to having high expectations, winning the NBA Finals, stuff like that. But I just think that they're not quite there just yet. Moving on, we got the Denver Nuggets. Yeah, they're a win now team. They got the coaching, they got the players, they got the chemistry, they got the experience. I mean, Denver's just set in stone to have to be like a win now team. Jokic is the best player in the world. Jamal Murray has elevated his game to an all-star. Your roster has been together for multiple years now, without really much to losing anybody. You have good coaching. I mean, Denver's just all set here. Like I said, they're absolutely a win now team. Next we got the Pistons, and I'm going to put San Antonio over here with the Pistons, because to me, I think they're kind of in the same boat here. Both of these two teams are so close. Like I said, I don't think they're a win now team, and I'll get the reason why. Yes, I know both of these two teams have been one of the better teams in all of the NBA. I absolutely understand that. San Antonio has been absolutely dominant over the course of the year. Detroit has been absolutely phenomenal this season. Like I said, Detroit probably as of this recording, the Detroit Pistons have the best record in the whole league, and I understand that. And you could definitely call Pistons a win now team. The only reason why I'm putting these two not a win now team is because they don't really have the experience as much as these three. They don't really have the veterans. And I mean that they're like Cade Cunningham's all right, but he hasn't really been in the playoffs. Matter of fact, he's only been in the playoffs once of his young career. I don't think that team with the Pistons with not a lot of playoff experience, because playoff experience matters in the playoffs. It matters because you can see it on and off the court. It matters, and that's the same thing for San Antonio. Like Wemby has never been in the playoffs. Yeah, I know they're a hell of a team. They're going to be a hell of a team to beat. These two teams, they're going to be a hell of a team to beat in the playoffs. They're going to be like teams' worst nightmare in the playoffs. But they just don't have that experience. Yeah, mainly because they're young, and they're kind of like OKC from last year, but OKC kind of got it done. So I love these two teams a lot. I do think these two teams does have a very good chance of winning it this year. It's just the experience. I just think that they're very close to winning it. They could win it this year as well. Don't get me wrong, they could win it this year, but I just think they're so close. They're so close to getting there. So close to being complete. Next, we got the Golden State Warriors. I don't know if Steph Curry's in the mix, you're never going to leave that out of the question. I'm gonna say a couple years because I do think they might build a roster without Steph Curry. Steph Curry's going to play a couple seasons, so I'll probably build a roster around Steph Curry here in the future. I'm not expecting to go out there and win a championship now, especially kind of in the situation that they're in because they don't really have the most experienced team. I know they have some good. They picked up some good guys this year. I do like how Richard Porzingis is going to be on the team. I do like that for sure. And I do think they have a really decent roster overall. I just think it's going to take a couple years for them to develop all this. You know what I mean? One more thing here. I do think the Warriors have the coaching to keep them in any kind of sequence here. So I'll say that. I will give a slight hit here to Steve Kerr. Next up, we got the Houston Rockets. I'm going to put them so close. I do think Houston, it's a phenomenal team. They're one of those teams, as a Lakers fan, I do not really want to play in the Western Conference in the first round. But at the same time, I think Houston is so close. And the only reason why Houston is really in this category and not a win-now team is because I just think they need a general point guard, or I just think they need a veteran point guard to add to the roster to really build on their depth. Yeah, I know they have some good players like KD. He's been absolutely phenomenal this year. I like the way Şengün's been playing. I like the way that whole team has been playing. But I just think they need that veteran point guard. I don't think they really have a true point guard. Because I think the point guard right now is Ben Thompson, and he doesn't really act like a point guard. So I just think that Houston and maybe Fred VanVleet being injured maybe was the thing, because Fred VanVleet, he's a point guard, and he's a veteran point guard who's been in the finals before. I mean, and he's been in the NBA finals before and had many tough playoff appearances. So it feels like if you have him, they're definitely a win now team. But since they don't have him, they kind of have to adjust, and that's why I'm going to put them so close. They're just missing that point guard playoff experience. Moving on, we got the Pacers. I'm going to put them more if you think about it, I think the Pacers are kind of like in a no-shot category. I mean, they definitely would be. It's kind of crazy that then going back to this year, you wouldn't, this is the reigning Eastern Conference champs. It would be absolutely... Especially this season, it would be crazy to even think about that. You would never think the Pacers would be the defending Eastern Conference champions this year, but I just think this team is I just don't think they have a shot, man. I know they're going to keep Tyrese Halliburton, but at the same time, you gave away almost all of your cast who's been to the NBA Finals last year, and something's just telling me I think the Pacers are just going to kind of hit the reset button. I just don't know what kind of direction they're really going to. I'll put them in no shot, but I'm kind of I'm very stunned how fast they gave away that run they had last year. That was depressing. Moving on, we got the Clippers. The Clippers are a kind of hard one to rank here because with Kawhi Leonard, kind of like what I said about Steph Curry, they have a chance, and they have Ty Lue, who I think is one of the best coaches in the NBA. They definitely do have a shot. I'm going to put them in a couple years because I do think the roster that they do have veterans. I just think that they need to get better overall as a group. I just think they need another primary ball scorer besides Kawhi Leonard. I know Kawhi Leonard's your number one target. You just need somebody else who can consistently throw up at least 17, 16 points per game with Kawhi. You're asking them to be that number two behind Kawhi. That's what you need, and I think that's going to take a couple years for the Clippers here to develop. So I'm going to put them in a couple years. Moving on, we got the Lakers. I'm going to put them at very close, and I'm pretty sure if you're a Lakers fan like I am, you all understand why. And you can definitely make an argument that the Lakers are definitely a win-now team. I wouldn't argue about that, but at the same time, I will tell you as a Lakers fan, based on what I've seen so far this year, we are so close. Do I expect the Lakers to go out there and win NBA Finals this year? No, I'm not expecting it. I don't think we're good enough. And we do have Luka Doncic. We definitely have a shot. We have Luka. We have LeBron. We have Austin Reeves. We have the big three, right? It's phenomenal. But the only reason why I don't think the Lakers are really a win-now team, and this is really the only reason I have for them. The reason why I don't think the Lakers are a win-now team is because we're not the most consistent team. We don't play consistent basketball. And I just don't think that the Lakers really have the defense to go out there and win the NBA titles this year. That's why I just think we're close. I said you have the roster. The Lakers have really yet to play a complete 48-minute game. That's just and they kind of struggle against one of the better teams in the NBA, like the Celtics, the Nuggets. So I just think this team is close. I don't think they're there, but I do think they're close from it. Moving on, we got the Memphis Grizzlies. Grizzlies are another kind of hard one to rank between not quite and no shot, because something's telling me, with John Morant, if they stick with John Morant, then I'm going to put them at not quite. I mean, they have John Morant right now, so I'm going to put the Grizzlies at not quite. I do think they could do a little bit of something in these next couple of years to really get them back to that playoff fight that they were like a couple like three seasons ago and stuff like that. But if they continue to stick with Ja, I would just continue to build around Ja. Just hopefully that you can get. Hopefully you can get some veterans over there or some young guns who can run with Ja, because Ja likes to run. So if you can get some young guns with Ja, I do think that'll definitely help this Grizzlies team. So I'm gonna put them in not quite. Next up, we got the Miami Heat. I'm gonna put them a couple years. I mean, I do think Miami's kind of like the same situation as Golden State. They have the coaching to take them anywhere. Like I said, Eric Spoelstra, he's one of the best coaches, and not the best coach in the NBA currently. He's either him or Steve Kerr. It's right there. So I think Miami's gonna stick in every game. I think they're gonna have an opportunity to win the NBA championship any year, as long as you're under Eric Spoelstra. But I just don't think Miami has the roster to go out there and win a title right now. And I know you have Tyler Hero, you have Bam Adebayo, you have Norman Powell, has been phenomenal this year. New addition to Miami, I think he's been very phenomenal this year. But I just think that Miami is going to take a couple years with this core to really get together and really find those key pieces. Like I said, they kind of need a little bit. They're kind of like in the same situation as Charlotte. I like their up-ranging roster and I like their future stars, but I just think they need a little bit more veterans in there. They've been in the playoffs for a good bit. Next up, we got Milwaukee. Not quite. No, I'm not gonna put them out of the question because they do have Giannis, and I think Giannis is just a Greek himself. Like I said, at the same time, we don't know the situation with Giannis. We don't know if he's going to leave Milwaukee. I don't think it's going to happen, but we don't know the situation what's going on with him. We don't know the situation of the future of the Milwaukee Bucks. Cam Thomas, he looked absolutely phenomenal ever since he got there. But at the same time, like, is he gonna leave outside next season? So it's just a lot of questions for the Bucks. I think they have a decent roster. I think they have an opportunity, but I just don't think it's there quite. We just don't know what the situation is going to be for the Bucks for the rest of the season and to move forward. Next, we got the Timberwolves. The Timberwolves are close. They are very close. They've been close for a long time now, and I think they're still very close. I think that they can definitely win it this year. Like Minnesota, they're one of those dark horse teams in the NBA. A team that you don't really expect to win in the playoffs, but a team that's just going to go out there and absolutely blitz your ass like they did to the Lakers last year. Anthony Edwards is a fucking dog. They have really good beer. I really like how he really generated his offense the last 2 years. I like the team a lot. I think to be honest, if you have Anthony Edwards, I think you always have a shot to win the NBA championship. I think they're close. Next up, we got the Pelicans. The Pelicans have no shot at winning this once and forever. I think I'm starting to really give up on Zion Williamson. I don't want to because he's young, but I just don't think that. I just don't think that his potential was there. Like that, everybody thought his potential was there going into the NBA, but I just didn't really see it. I just don't see it anymore. I just don't see him doing it. So Pelicans are a hell no for me. Next up, we got the Knicks. Yes, I do think the Knicks are a win-now team. They're kind of like a team like I said about Cleveland. They have the roster. They have the coaching of Mike Brown, who's been in multiple playoff games before. They have him. They have the clutch time player of the year. You have Cat. You have good defense and Jose Alvarado, Mikal Bridges. Like you have everything that you need in New York. You just need to go out there and present it in the playoffs. That's just all you need to do. But for sure, you're definitely a win-now team. Next up, we got OKC, and I know they're young, but yeah, they're definitely a win-now team. You're a defending champions playing the way that you are playing right now. I think OKC only lost 14 games all year, and you have a deep bench. You have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, probably the MVP front runner right now. Like, but yeah, you gotta, you're definitely a win-now team. Next up, we got the Magic. I'm going to say a couple years because I do think they need to build around more Paolo Banchero a little bit. But like I said, I don't think this Magic roster is bad. I think they will definitely have a chance in future years. I'm just not really expecting it just now. I know you have Desmond Bain. You have a good offense. You have a decent defense. So I'll say that. Matter of fact, I think the Magic have one of the better defenses in the entire NBA right now. I just think that they just need to stick around with this core. I know you have a couple of veterans in there, but you just need to stick around with this event. You want to see how this core can develop here. So I do think it'll be pretty interesting to see that over the next couple of years, but I'll say it's a couple of years here for the Magic. Next, we got the 76ers. I'm gonna put them a couple years as well because I do like the long term of Tyrese Maxey if they're able to keep him that many years. But like I said, we don't know if that's gonna happen or not. But I do think the Sixers will keep Tyrese Maxey, and if you do, you always have a chance with Joel Embiid. The question is, I think for the Sixers, because I do think they have a lot of veterans on their team, I think they might have a shot. But the question is, can they remain healthy? That's going to be the thing here for Philadelphia moving forward. And I just think that if they can remain healthy, they could be a little bit sneaky. But the question is, can they stay healthy though? Next up, we got the Phoenix Suns. I'm gonna say a couple years away because I actually do like what I've been seeing out of Phoenix this year. I think Phoenix has been one of the more impressive teams in the NBA. I mean, I do think they need a couple more guards, and I do think they need a couple more experienced guards because it feels like Devin Booker is like the only experienced guy who's been in the NBA Finals or who has been in a playoff series before on that roster. But I'm not going to look at that roster in nowhere. Like I said, I think the Suns, I gave them credit ever since like week 5 of the NBA, when they were out there winning games, especially winning games that you wouldn't really expect them to win. I was very proud in the Phoenix Suns for doing that, and I do think they're somewhat close of winning an NBA championship. But I just think it's going to take a couple years in the process, though. Next, we got the Trailblazers. I'm gonna put not quite because I do think they have their guy at All-Star, Nenny, but I just don't think they have the pieces around that. I just don't think they have the pieces. I just don't think the pieces connect around Nenny. I just don't. And I know that they do have Damian Lillard, and the question is, we don't know when he's gonna play. We don't know when he's going to be healthy or not. And I just think that's going to be a really key thing about the Trailblazers, about where they go from here and throughout. So we'll see. But I'm going to put them in not quite for right now. Moving on, we got the Kings. The Kings, especially how bad they've been playing this year. Oh yeah, hell no, they don't have a shot. Now, but what's confusing about the Kings is that their roster is not even that bad constructed. Like, you have Zach LaVine, especially when it's fully healthy. Like, you have Zach LaVine, you have DeMar DeRozan, you have Sabonis, who's been in the playoffs before. You used to have Keon Ellis, so I don't think the roster was just ever bad. I just think the roster just really gave up on themselves, really. So, and it kind of shut everything down here. But for future years, if they continue like this, I don't think they have a shot. Moving on, we got Toronto, and I'm not gonna lie, you call me bold or whatever, I think Toronto's close. To be completely honest, because I just think that Toronto, they could definitely win the NBA championship either this year. I mean, I'm not going to predict it to be this year, but it could be this year. They could win it this year. I just think Toronto's a really good damn team. I like Scotty Barnes. I like the way he's been playing. I like how Brandon Ingram's been playing. I think he really stepped up his game to the next level. I love this Toronto. I love watching them. Their defense looks good. I think they're close. I think they have a shot. They have veterans. They have young guns. I like this team a lot. Next, we got the Utah Jazz. I'm going to go with not quite. And the only reason I'm going to go not quite for the Jazz is because I know if you guys haven't heard, they very recently made a trade for Jaren Jackson Jr. And I think that's good because I do think that's could help out Walker Kessler in the paint there. And I do think he does provide some playoff experience for your team. But at the same time, like, that team is just young. You know what I mean? I think it's just going to take quite a while for them to develop here. So I'm not quite, but it's definitely not out of the picture for the Jazz. And last but not least, we have the Washington Wizards. No shot. And I know you could definitely make an argument that they probably should be in not quite category, but I'm not going to put them just there. I know Washington just traded for Anthony Davis. They got all these key players out here. You got Trae Young coming back next year, and I'm very interested to see how them two work out next year. It's just the youth of this roster is just absolutely ridiculous. The team is very young, and it feels like you only have like 2 All-Stars, and you have one of them that's not even on the court half of the time. So I just think it's mainly going to be Trae Young on the floor last year, and how does that develop? I just don't think that's going to be enough, so I'm going to put him in no shot. But without further ado, guys, that's going to go ahead and wrap it up for today's video. Like I said, if you guys have already hit that subscribe button. Anyway, guys, I'm going to hop out of here, get this thing guys, so you guys can watch on time. Let me guys know what you guys do, agree in the comment section. Maybe, guys, I'll see you guys next time. Appreciate you being here. This is BabyNation.com. Peace out. Stay safe. I'm tired. I'm going to bed, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out, and we'll see you next time.